Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to a very special Memorial Day edition of Grand Iron Power After Hours. Today we're going to talk about athletes and the media. And you know here's the saying is, everybody, including the media, has to be held accountable for what they say and do.
And another adage is, media's got work to do.
Yes.
And
so you athletes. So, if for a case in point, in the world of tennis, Naomi Osaka decides to withdraw from the Paris Open after she was fined $15,000 for missing a press conference for the Paris Open.
Yeah, and the World Tennis Association basically said in no uncertain terms, if you don't do your job, if you don't fulfill your obligation,
you lose everything.
The option to fine you, but we do have the option to ban you.
So she withdrew from the Paris Open.
See, here's the thing. Somebody was talking on CBS Sports Radio. I don't know who it was, probably the fill-in guy. Talking about the Naomi Osaka fiasco with the media. It's what I like to refer to as media has a job to do as well, but hey, here's the thought. As the athlete, you signed the contract. Nobody else did.
Mm-hmm.
Fans want to know and hear from you.
Yes.
The up-and-coming tennis star that will be the future crop and face of tennis. When Venus and Serena finally call it a career, she will be one of the new faces along with Sloane Stephens, Madison Keys, and others.
Yes.
That will be coming into the world of women's tennis.
Mm-hmm.
And there are girls and females and young ladies that look up to these people.
Yeah. And since the Williams sisters have since retired and they're enjoying motherhood, and they love it, every bit of it.
I mean, they don't have to come back and do anything else because they've done more for the game of tennis.
Yep.
Ever.
Yep. And like I said before, the media will have to be held accountable for what they say and what they do.
Now, the thing is, yeah, did Serena and Venus get a little ticked off at the chair? Sure. But the one thing they did not do, ever, is skip out on any media availability. Because they knew people were looking up to them.
Yep.
They handled their business.
Yep. And when Dwayne Wade retired from basketball, he retired with a reason only. He wanted to live the nice, quiet life of a family man without his trans daughter's name getting dragged through the papers and out of mouths of other celebrities. In other words, Bootsy Badass, I'm calling your old raggedy tooth-looking self out. Shame on you for saying what you said about Dwayne Wade's daughter. Shame on you.
I mean, it's uncalled for.
You should never say what you said about his daughter. He loves her no matter what. Not only that, it's not up to you to tell Dwayne Wade how to raise his kid. In the end, his daughter Zaya made that decision for herself to tell her dad and stepmom that she was transgender. And they're proud of her. You don't have no say in how Dwayne Wade raised his kids, except for Dwayne Wade. Just like everybody else in the world and in the media don't have the right to tell regular parents how to raise their kids, how to teach their kids.
That's like That's like me as a blind person coming to you saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be treating your daughter like that." What right do I have as a broadcaster to say that about you? As try to, I don't have a right for that because guess what? I'm not a parent.
And it sickens me. Media people, you and the media also want to have to be held accountable for what you say and what you do, especially when you take things out of context, which you know better.
Well, keep in mind, a lot of the media folks, they're okay. Let me try to simplify this real quick. All a lot of the folks are looking for in the media, they're looking for juicy stories. And if you're in this for the wrong reason and you're trying to twist a story to get a juicy story, just to get your monthly quota and clickbait and all that, so you can, rouse up your Twitter following, then you're in the wrong line of work.
And also,
you're in the wrong line of work.
Like I said, and media's gonna have to be held accountable. Especially if you're going on social media. You still gotta be held accountable for what you say and what you write. Especially if you still thinking that Colin Kaepernick is racist for not respecting the flag. Folks, if I said it once, I said it 1,000 times, and it's gonna bear in mind when it comes to repeating. It's not about the flag. The flag's a piece of cloth. And many people have burned that sucker since the 1700s. It's all about the words on paper. And the words on paper is what's more powerful than a piece of cloth. It's what Kaepernick has been trying to tell you.
Keep in mind, there are people, no matter how many times you say it, they will not change their mind.
But also keep in mind, this took Roger Goodell 4 years to admit that Colin Kaepernick was right.
And let's see, does he still have a job? Does he have a job in the league? No. But Tim Tebow's got a job, though.
Because he basically did the same thing while he was a college student in Florida. He knelt right during a football game before he gets sent out onto that field. You don't. And yet, you persecuted Colin Kaepernick for peacefully protesting what he believes about the criminal justice system being racially unjust towards African Americans.
Well, basically, let's just call it what it is. It's flawed. It's a flawed system that needs to be fixed. Let's just call it what it is.
Yep.
It's a system that needs to be fixed.
And pronto. Because I can't say it enough. Because even athletes in the social and media perspectives, even getting mistreated by the cops, it gets spun out of control.
Even athletes are scared to cross the street to deal with a police officer because they don't know if they're going to get fired on or they're going to get pulled over or something silly.
Yep. Remember what I told you, Sterling K. Brown of the Milwaukee Bucks, he got pulled over.
I remember that story. He told the story in the press conference. He told the story about that night he got pulled over in a press conference.
Yep. Willie Motes, he got pulled over, and as an end result, his mother had died while he was pulled over outside the hospital. This man was in a hurry to see his mother before she died. The police officers pulled him over, put cuffs on him for no apparent reason, and the man's mother died. Before he went to see her, the doctors had to tell him when he got in there that she just died 20 minutes ago. That's 20 minutes of his mother's life that he lost because of what the Dallas PD did. Police, just like the media, have to be held accountable. Everybody's held accountable.
Oh, yes.
Not just athletes. Musicians are held accountable. Actors are held accountable, and politicians are held accountable. And right now, the biggest monumental con job is refused to be held accountable for inciting the riot, which was to because certify number 46's victory.
He's still putting out the following: I did nothing wrong. Bush League, you didn't.
He's still putting out the election was rigged. This is the biggest voter injustice ever. He's doing voter suppression law, which in the case of disenfranchisement of every African American voter in this country. So here's the little state facts. One, number 45, you did do something wrong. You incited a bunch of people
to go nuts
on a lie that you told. And those knuckleheads believed you. In the end result, 5 people are dead and 2 people committed suicide after getting PTSD from it.
Knuckleheads believed him? Yeah, there were some knuckleheads that believed him.
And every one of them knuckleheads wound up arrested. They wound up arrested because that's now a federal crime. That's considered treason for what they did.
That is a federal crime. Treason, impeachable, dismissible. So
yeah, but yet, one Yahoo in particular seems to think, nope.
He's above the law. I don't think so, son.
I believe there's one thing in history class, that he never stuck around for. Who has the real power of authority to supervise the election? Not the vice president, it's Congress. And Congress had assured that number 46 won fair and square. Number 45 lost. So all you people who believe number 45's lies, shame on you. Shame on you for what you're doing. Shame on you.
Shame on you for basically making the presidency of the United States look more like a freaking sideshow at the circus instead of the highest office in the land. And
shame on you for proving every other country right by making this country a laughing stock.
Third world countries look at us and are literally thumbing their nose and laughed their heads off at us at our expense.
All because of the lies you guys choose to believe from old 45.
That orange-haired glorified twit.
Who we refuse to name on this podcast because if we name them, we're going to get sidetracked and cuss them out. We're trying not to do that. So instead, I'm going to say Happy Memorial Day to all the men and women of our good United States Armed Forces, the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Coast Guard, those who put their lives on the line for us.
Every single day. And by the way, we do wish you and yours a very happy and safe Memorial Day. Hope you enjoyed it. And what's left of it, hopefully you're still enjoying it.
Because every veteran that you might know, they'll tell you the truth. It's not the flag that put their lives on the line. It's the words on a piece of paper. The words that hold so much power. Especially when the lines where all men are created equal. That means men, women, and children are created equal. And for you guys to try to believe that Bush League lie,
it's babushka. It's not just a lie; it's a babushka lie.
You ever heard? Don't make a mountain out of a molehill. That's essentially what you idiots are doing.
These people, these people love making mountains out of molehills. They love it. That's all they do. That's all they live for.
And there's another saying. This is one of the most popular ones. Don't assume anything. Because you know why? Because when you assume something, you're making an ass.
Yes, wrong.
Yeah, you're making an ass out of you and me. That's why you assume something. Because you're basically making an ass out of you and me.
And all the people that are around you.
People like me who believes in the words of the Constitution, not a piece of cloth. A piece of cloth that can change anytime. The words on the piece of paper hold more power. That's one thing I learned while in school in history class. The words on the piece of paper hold more power.
Or as we like to refer to as nowadays, boys and girls and children, pay attention. It's called civics. Yeah. And my civics teacher, the late James Alvin Spur, thank you for reminding me of the Constitution. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So all the civic teachers that actually teach them something.
And to my American government and civics teacher, Coach Tim Johnson, formerly of Franklin High School, now the coach of BGA and BGA High School. Thank you for teaching me this. He taught me that yes, the words on the piece of paper hold so much power. It's the words that everybody lives by. It's the words that the people in the United States Marine Corps live by. It's because they protected the rights of us.
Before we were even thought of.
The words on that piece of paper give us our capabilities on what we can say, what we can do, give us the women the right to vote. But there's another part of that Constitution. Article 25. Oh, boy. And number 45 didn't know about this. He surely will now. So I'm going to say it. See, your health and your liability is going to be called into question because you have been impeached twice. He's twice impeached. If he gets impeached 2 more times, he will never run for president again. But there is a shortcut. Because of what happened this past January 6th, which should have been an impeachable offense in the first place, it should make him not to be able to run for presidency again. And Sidney Powell, you a glorified bag of hot air who makes Mamamoo Loser Club seem smart in comparison.
Who makes a box of Trix cereal look normal with that stupid rabbit on the side?
Yeah, silly Sidney. You need to go back to school.
Because you are nothing more than a dump.
Because she said, in quotes, that Trump will be back in office, that Biden was told to leave. Listen up, you bag of hot air, stupid idiot. Trump will never be back in office. It's already said and done. The election was legal. The election was fair and binding. You keep basing out and out lies, you're going to lose your law license. Just ask Lynn Wood. He already lost his law license to practice in Georgia. Because of this mess. He also lost his license to practice law to represent Kyle Rittenhouse. And that twitbag is still on the run. He also needs to be held accountable. Because that twitbag is an 18-year-old grown man who knew better what he did when he was 17. And for a certain TV host to compare a 13-year-old boy to a 17-year-old man, calling that 13-year-old boy a man and a 17-year-old man a boy, Tucker Carlson, you are stupid as a bag of cement.
As we get ready to wind down this episode, this again, we talk about athletes, we talk about politicians, we talk about media types, we talk about idiotic schmuckety schmucks. Basically, here's what we're getting at, folks. This is where we are in this country.
Because of stupid lies make this country a laughingstock. Number 46 is trying to get us back to normality. Something the number 45 should have done. Instead of sitting at his desk, going to Twitter, going to the golf course. That's what his job is. And that isn't the job description. Your job description doesn't mean talk about people on Twitter, disrespect people on Twitter, and go to the golf course all the damn time. That's not how a country is run. A country is run when you do something about it. Like number 44 did for the last 2 terms. He did something about it. He made sure there was affordable health care for everybody with pre-existing conditions. Trump trying to wipe that out. Number 46 is trying to put it back.
Yes.
So everybody who had pre-existing health conditions will get the best affordable health care in this country. Number 45 try to get rid of it.
Here's the thing. I have asthma. I have. And I'm like, dude, if that's gotten rid of,
shoot. Not to mention, I got asthma too. Not to mention, I have high blood pressure. I have depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, sleep apnea.
Oh yeah,
herniated disc.
I've got diabetes.
I'm pre-diabetic and I got hypertension. Not to mention, I had the same herniated disc for the last 24 years, and I still ain't went untreated because it still hurts when I stand for a long length of time. My back was not up, and it had hurt for me to walk. And me having AFib and sleep apnea, then I'm living on a borrowed timeline, and I'm trying not to. I'm trying to extend my timeline. I'm trying to extend my life. Number 45 tried to cut it short. And there is automatically a reason why I'd rather stick with my insurance than with you-know-who care. Because that's for the Richie Rich type people. I'm not rich. I'm a modest blue-collar person who gets by. And it don't make no sense that I would have to pay extra to get extra health care coverage when my health care works just fine.
Yep.
So I'm gonna tell you this. For those of you who voted for him in 2016, for those of you trying to vote that idiot back again in 2020, I got to say, goody, your guy lost.
Well, not only that, let's say he's still here. We would have never. I mean, the vaccines that are here now, I can guarantee it would have taken longer.
Yeah. And one of his last promises before he left office was 20 million people to get vaccinated in 2020. 3 million only got vaccinated. You know how many people got vaccinated in number 46's in administration in his inauguration?
Almost 3 million.
More than that, over almost 300 million within 60 days.
It's a high number. It's even higher than 45. Because at least the difference with 46 is giving a darn.
Yep. And our first ever lady VP is making sure that the DACA Act stays intact. So those are your parents of undocumented immigrants who were born in this country legally will have a good education. Because you seem to think that they don't deserve it. No. Here's the thing. We don't deserve this country. For you people that seem to think that English is the primary language, it's not. Thomases would have told you this, end quote, Since English is not the official language of this country, we are officially the second largest Spanish speaking country in the world. In other words, the United States is the second largest Spanish speaking country besides Spain. And not just Hispanics, Latinos to live here. We got Armenians, Russians, French, Canadian, Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, Indonesians, Thai people, Filipinos, basically everybody under the sun living in this country. This country was built on the backs of illegal immigrants. And for you to say that they don't belong here, the statement is more like you don't belong here. The very thought of you saying that they don't belong here proves to the matter of fact that you don't belong here at all. You wanna say that they ruined this country? No, white supremacy ruined this country. Always had.
By the way, go back for those idiots that don't watch the History Channel. Go watch Tulsa Burning. It'll be on. I think it was on at 7 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
It may be back on tonight. You want to know how bad it got? Go watch that. Then come back and tell me what ruined this country.
And right now, white supremacy really took a head in my broadcast partner's neck of the woods. A certain hat shop called Hatworks decided to use the Star of David, give it to people that says where it's not vaccinated. You know how many people are boycotting her store right now? Because she did this. Then she compares getting the COVID-19 shot to the Holocaust and Auschwitz, a concentration camp in Germany.
Auschwitz, yes.
Yeah. It's no comparison to that.
Oh, no.
Compared to the 600,000 people who died in them concentration camps?
Like, at least people aren't being shot.
Yeah.
When they're doing their work.
Compared to the 580,000 people who died just last year because of believing that COVID-19 was a hoax. Mm-hmm. Here's a little scientific fact for you, folks. People who are asthmatic, obese, have blood pressure and heart problems.
I think all of us can check that. I think both of us can check that box.
Are more at risk of getting COVID than anybody else because it's a respiratory problem, which is why I got the vaccine.
And yeah, not only did I get the vaccine, but even just because I get the vaccine, guess what? I'm still wearing my mask because I don't know who's not taking it yet.
Yeah, I'm still wearing my mask. I still got the wristband that says
put myself at risk like that.
Yeah. I'm wearing my mask.
Even when we're traveling.
Mm-hmm. I'm wearing my mask. I got my shot record that says I'm fully vaccinated. I got this that says I'm COVID-19 vaccinated. I'm still wearing my mask. For those who are not vaccinated, because for one thing, we don't know how long it's going to take before COVID-19 is fully gone. And for you guys to think it's a hoax, why don't you ask the family of the 580,000 people who died last year that? Why don't you ask them if it was still a hoax?
Go walk up to one of those families and ask them what it was like when they saw their loved one on a ventilator in the hospital bed.
And I can tell you from experience, it's no fun. I had two of my relatives.
Network, I heard a female. It was jarring.
I had two members of my own family. I had two members of my family catch it. One was my cousin, and she was on a respirator in the hospital. The other one was my big sister.
There was a lady on the Black Information Network on a midnight newscast. You heard her final words before she died of COVID in a hospital. This stuff's still real, kids.
Oh, it's
It's still real.
And to quote the words of one Kurt Angle, it's real. It's damn real. This is as real as it gets. This is not fake. It's not a hoax. And for you to listen to idiots like Marjorie Taylor Blowjob, Sidney Kraken, or Uzi Giuliani, do yourself a favor. Ask the families of the 580,000 people who died last year of COVID. Ask them if it was a hoax. Matter of fact, I do you one better. Ask the family of the Sandy Hook victims if they get shot was a hoax. Ask the family of the people in Columbine if it's a hoax. Ask the people during the Charleston church that Dylan Roof did that it was a hoax. Ask them. They'll take an answer. No, it's not. It's not a hoax. It's not a joke. It's not a lie. It's all real. And for people to sit there and still have the nerve, the gall, the damn audacity to say it's not, shame on you. You'll be dead quicker than you think. You keep believing in your lie. You keep listening to that bull crap, you're going to believe that bull crap. You're going to die by that said bull crap. Because I'm telling you now, this is as real as it gets. And everybody has to pull their weight together. And for those who quickly rush to get rid of the mask mandates for not having their cities vaccinated, shame on you, because you're going to kill them quicker. You're even going to get them kids killed a lot sooner than you think. Because the children are an important asset in this country. They are an extension of us that if we're gone, then their generation will continue on. And it all starts from what you have to put into their head is common sense and common knowledge.
It's common sense.
And I'm going to tell you right now, having you parents who seems to think it's okay to not to get their kids vaccinated, you putting your kids' lives in jeopardy. You are. Because I'm telling you right now, if the kids don't get vaccinated, they're going to be dead before the next school year arrives. And folks, since I got my shot, I'm going to be around for years to come. Because they said, and it's scientifically proven, that going by statistics alone, the Moderna is 99% effective in surviving. The same thing with the Pfizer. And if Johnson & Johnson will fix it correctly, they would be too. Instead, they had to redo the batches because they were tainted with salt water. Not to mention, if you guys remember the story about the doctor who got himself into a heap of trouble for what he done. And what he did was leave about 115,000 vials of the COVID-19 vaccine out of the refrigerator. Folks, refrigerated, it lasts longer. If it's refrigerated, you got to unrefrigerated, you got to use it quickly because it becomes useless within 6 minutes.
Yep, it does.
So this doctor had unintentionally almost got 100,000 people killed because of his stupid mistake. Not to mention, countless other people were put at risk because of this stupidity. So, and also in other news today, the Democrats have walked out of the Capitol building, walked out of a bill reform to suppress voter restrictions. They walked out of that, and with good reason. because they know it will disenfranchise every African American voter there is. And it's true, because it's gonna do that. You listen to the clowns like Convict Ted Crew, Lion Ted, and Monkey Boy Josh. And Good Googly Moogly, she looks like a Moga Marjorie Taylor Greene. And all those so-called Republicans who did oust Liz Cheney right out of her number 3 commanding spot. For what stupid reason? Because she was doing what she thinks is right, which is, guess what? Vote to impeach Trump. They're the ones who made their own party afraid of Trump. They're the ones who made themselves afraid of you know who. Liz Cheney and 10 other Democrats voted to impeach him, and they stood up with the Democrats. Yeah, while those other 117 needed to be banned from ever being in the Senate ever again.
But unfortunately, I think that fell short.
Yeah. Because it's stupid. Y'all people are stupid. Y'all people are dumb. But you know what? Y'all better go kick a bag of rocks because I don't care. Because y'all deserve to get called out on this podcast here. When there's too many of you, so we're gonna call you guys out. The Republican Party. Yeah, we're talking about you chowderheads, the ones who voted not to impeach Trump, not to hold Trump accountable for what he did. Instead, you're going to be held accountable in his place.
Yep. They will be.
While he's living at home in Malargo, you guys and the ones who participated in that stupid riot are going to be answering crimes of treason against the country. Because even the 3 appointed judges, number 45 pick, said the election was valid. You guys were wrong for what you did.
Yeah.
And y'all deserve this one. But for you guys to say that Liz Cheney deserves to be ousted out of her number 3 chair, you guys are stupid.
They've always been stupid.
Sure. And there's a good reason why Kelly Loeffler lost her seat in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
She deserved it. Because her views ain't in the contrary of the views of the American people.
And it really reared its ugly head as the owner of the Atlanta Dream.
Mm-hmm.
It really reared its ugly head.
And you want to know what? Because the majority owners have bought her shares and gave them to Renee Montgomery. Why? Because Renee Montgomery believes in racial equality. They believe in criminal justice reform. Kelly Loeffler doesn't.
She never has. And it really showed, like I said, when she was in the WNBA. When they were in lockdown like the NBA was,
mm-hmm.
It really reared its ugly head.
And which is why you don't see her in politics anymore.
I mean, that's not like what in the ABC London cinema was going on here? I mean, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Because also, like I said, everybody's got to be held accountable for what they say and what they do. Right now, the WWE still got to be held accountable. And one of those things is of LGBT equality in the company. Now, remember in mind, folks, I named a few of those people that's on that list who are of the LGBT community. And one of them just happens to be an NXT wrestler by the name of Tegan Knox. Now, Tegan Knox came out and admitted she's a proud bisexual. Sonya Deville has said it. She is the first openly gay female wrestler, but now she's a general manager of SmackDown. And she also said, quote, her being back in the WWE at a different capacity is a better fit for her than being in the ring. And I mean, and folks, heck, like I said before, if a guy can make himself look good in a kilt or a dress, a girl can make herself look hot in a damn suit. That's all I gotta say. And most of us women don't have to be gay or butch to do it. Hell, even straight women look good in a suit. Because it oozes confidence. It oozes strength.
And I think we covered it all. I think.
Yeah.
Haven't we?
I think so. And so if we didn't.
Well, if we did not.
If we did not, and this is a high speed, recap.
We'll pick it up on Friday.
Yep, and this is a high speed one, quick and simple. Everybody has to be held accountable for what they say, what they think, what they do, and what they write. Because if you don't, it's gonna come back on you and bite you 5 times in the butt. And trust and believe.
Thank you for giving us your ear.
And trust and believe. Oh Lordy, I gotta go. All right, and now it's about time we can wrap this up.
So.
All right, so Friday we're gonna pick up at our regular normal time, athletes and stupidity. Do they deserve to be called stupid? I believe yes. Athletes and stupidity. Do they deserve to be called stupid for what they do? Yes, they do.
Oh yes, they do.
And on Saturday is going to be
All Access. Yes.
Nightmares All Access NWFL edition.
Nightmares All Access /
NWFL edition.
You get to find.
Boy. Well, our first guest will be Carly Duffy, the owner of the Oklahoma Lightning.
Oklahoma City.
Dance around a minute.
Oh, go get him.
No, it's not him. It's his mama calling. So join us Saturday where Miss Carly Duffy will be a guest.
Miss Duffy's in the house Saturday.
We're going to bring you some NWFL news and a lot more.
And speaking of NWFL stuff, once we close this down, I will call you on Messenger, and hopefully we can go look at some other teams that, if we could look in the South, that we'd like to see Sean take a look at and go after if they have Facebook pages.
Yeah. I already managed to find one already. But the downside is they're already playing right now.
Well, of course they're playing right now.
It's not the Misfits.
Let's close this podcast down. We'll talk about it on Messenger.
All right,
folks.
All right.
Thanks for joining us on this special Memorial Day edition pod. Out.
Yep. Happy Memorial Day, you muffos.